I'm waiting on Twitch.
We're on the air, I think. I'm always like wondering, I'm like, are we really? Is it really? It's honestly
I
unclear.
see us.
Are we really? Is it really? Hi, Meepy. Our ride or die, dude.
My God, you're already here, Meepy.
Meepy's
You're
always
the
here.
best. Always
My
watching.
hair got bent from my headphones.
Your hair looks cool.
Thanks. I'm so overdue for a color, TBH, but what can you do? Also, everyone can enjoy the sound of my dogs in the background.
Is that beignet or
Beignet. It's
mocha?
always beignet. Every time. Hi, Grace! Welcome in. For everyone filtering in, we're going to play this really cool game you probably haven't heard of called Voyagers of Nera. It's a seafaring survival crafting game set in a magical ocean world where you can surf, sail, swim, rescue magical spirits, and gain magical abilities. This is my pitch when we were at the Mixed Game Fest, so I'm like full presenter mode. But no, I assume
Whoa,
most people
but
have played, but if you haven't,
that sounds so fun.
that is the premise.
And what if I want to play not solo?
Well, do I have good news for you? We have a multiplayer demo available on Steam right now that you can jump in with up to 9 friends for 10-player co-op.
Whoa. But I hate paying for games, and my friends do too.
Luckily, our demo is free right now.
Whoa.
Woo!
Oh my God. Wow, we should go on the road with this. I'll be
So
the
funny.
plant. I'm a really good plant. I'm super subtle.
Yeah. No one knew that was scripted. Actually, though, the best part is really, well, my part was kind of scripted in that I said it at least 100 times at that festival that we went to. But just so everyone else knows, we did not plan to do that. Oh, first time chat from Cosmic Torrents. I've played the multiplayer co-op demo. Absolutely loved it and very excited for early access. Thank you. Welcome in.
Thank you, Cosmic Torrent. Oh my God, Dell. Dell is
Mara.
my friend that I've played games with for over a decade now, and we've
Aw.
we've seen each other like a half a dozen times in real life, but we know way too much about each other.
Aw, that's cute. Awesome.
Oh, hey, revealing too much. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I was just in your stream the other day. Also,
Yeah.
welcome Harek the Ginger. Actually, I saw you post a bug report in our Discord today, so thank you for that. And welcome in.
Well.
Looks like so
Return
many
tables.
familiar faces and also so many new faces. Welcome, Eagles Grace, familiar face. Revealing too much, familiar face. Yeah, how the turntables have turned. It's true. That means you can grill me. You can make fun of me when I die. Or when I misclick stuff. Wow, so many first time chats. Welcome in, Sarge T. Oh, you said Avoel. You said that I'm pretty sure I mispronounced it, and I remember in your Discord intro you said that everybody mispronounces it, and I read your pronunciation guide and I probably still mispronounced it, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome in. Swiss and Shout, welcome in. Faye Foxfire, welcome in. Asinka, welcome in. So many new faces. This is awesome. Oh, big fan of the game so far. Graphics are gorgeous, building's very fun. Excited to see what more the game has in store. Well, it's a good place to be.
We're just here to chill. We'll show whatever you want to show. We'll answer. No, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. I don't know if we'll answer every question. Isn't that right?
Yes. Also, I was like very bold with the show what you want to show comment. I'm like, this could go really wrong.
I don't know. I really liked my 1,000 kilns that I put in.
We were testing the build to make sure it would work right before this, and I was like alt-tabbed, and suddenly I heard just like hundreds, it feels like, of like as AK filled the screen with kilns. Well, at 2 a.m. in Norway. Thank you for showing up. That's crazy. Hopefully you're a night owl by default, but if not, this might be rough.
Thank you, Dell. I appreciate the love.
Blue Wolves win. Oh, Harry Potter, welcome in. You have so many usernames across all the platforms.
Oh my God, all the way from Germany. It's late there. Yeah.
Woohoo! So cool.
Yes.
So many 2 a.m. 1 a.m.er. I feel bad. Normally we were playing these at the dev streams at like earlier times for all of our European fans, but this one we could not do at an earlier time. So I'm sorry for that, but I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I guess I have to take this off stream to put in the code.
Who's the primary builder? I think Steph is more consistent, but I'm kind of a wild card.
That's true.
I'll just kind of do whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And Steph, I feel like you do too, but you're just better.
Better at building?
Yeah.
I do
it a lot. You have an idea. You do it a lot, right? Yeah.
Let's see.
I think that's why.
Oh, my computer is a little angry.
Nice. You're off from work tomorrow. I love that.
Yeah.
7 p.m. here, thinking of pizza.
Sec. Trying to get into the game. My computer's being a little mad at me. It's funny that you mentioned that cheat, because right before this, we were loading in to test the build, and I was like teleporting everywhere. And AK's like, where did you go? How did you do that? I was like, with cheats, I can go anywhere.
I think this is going to be a great stream because I'm going to represent like the new player. Like, whoa, how did you move that tree and get resources from it? Like an axe.
Let me close some stuff. I don't know what's happening. We just tested this. Hopefully no one's having this issue on the demo. It's not the connection to the server. It's my app just didn't do good the first time. Just did it bad. But we'll try again.
This just means more time talking.
That's true, which I'm sure is what everybody's here for. We'll hope so, because it is a casual AMA. So I think we definitely have a lot of people in now. If I can actually manage to get my game up, which it's close, we will start to chat. But today's goal was really just to spend time playing the game, talking to y'all. We're really excited by how many people are showing up to play the demo. So thank you so much for all of your support. It really means a lot to us, and it's been a crazy few days. There's some things I want to mention at the top of the stream just because we get a lot of questions about how can people best support during this demo phase and like what would be the most helpful, or like how can they help more people find the game too. So if you have played the demo but are maybe done with the content, it would be great if you have time, or if you even can just bring some of your friends in and play a new file or something like that. More play hours will definitely help us become more visible. There's a lot of mechanics behind the Steam charts that we're kind of trying to like punch through. But some really awesome things actually is that we've been featured on a lot of the like new and trending or upcoming free demos or like and upcoming releases. We've been trending actually really high on those, and every day it's actually a little bit higher, which is really exciting and awesome. And those types of charts are like actually the main way that people discover like new titles generally. They like look through those and it gets served to more people. So if you are not done with the game yet, actually definitely just keep playing on the demo. If you're an alpha tester and you have not yet switched to the demo, it would be great if you do. So hopefully all of our alpha testers have switched from our alpha app to the Voyagers of Nera demo app. If you haven't yet and you're like, oh my god, my save file, what do I do? I actually made a guide for you to transfer your data that's in our Discord. So if you need that, let me know. Or just tag me in Discord.
That's the best. You're the best.
I was like, how can I get people onto the demo? I really don't want it to be super hard. And especially for our alpha players who have put in so much time, right? And been reset so many times. I was like, can I save them one reset? Just one. So that's a great way to support us. Also, like retweeting our socials, or I don't know what you call it on Instagram. I don't use Instagram enough, but sharing our posts on the various social platforms helps us a lot too. So people have been really great about that, have been doing that a lot. So thank you so much. But those are the kind of things that'll help us the most at this phase. And actually, I think a lot of people probably saw this post, but we did pass 100K wish list, which is really, really exciting. A big, big milestone. So thanks everybody who's wishlisted the game and shared it with your friends and played with your friends. It's super, super awesome. There's just been so much going on. But thank you so much, everybody, so far. And then, yeah, basically the point of today, other than that, is we're going to play the game. We're going to answer your questions, so feel free to AMA. Ask us anything. We probably can't answer every single thing, but we'll try our best. There's not a lot of things we like to keep secret. And I will log in to AK server right now. Pull us over.
I was just thinking while you're going through that and telling everyone how awesome our game is and how to support us is, I was watching White Lotus, and our game reminds me a lot of that. just the setting. I'm really, really behind on White Lotus, and I
haven't watched it. I'm so behind on all new shows, honestly.
Is that because you're making a game? I mean, because we're making a game?
Yeah, it's just me. You make more of it, arguably, than I do. No, I'm bad at watching shows. I don't know what it is. One important note I realized that I forgot to announce too. We will also be doing a giveaway at the end of the stream. So we're going to give away 1 early access key to a very lucky person. So we will announce what the giveaway code is near the end of the stream. And we already have our first question. And Harek the Ginger, says they have tons of questions. But firstly, will we see potential underwater shrines and more creature types, both underwater and on land? The answer is definitely yes. Every biome is going to feature more underwater shrines. We would like to continue to expand our underwater content and future updates too. So right now we have what we feel is a hopefully pretty healthy baseline, but we would love to keep expanding, add in underwater caches, and we definitely want to keep expanding the underwater enemies. We have a lot of ideas in the pipe for that. It's just kind of like, when can we do it? Competing priorities, but we really, really hope to be able to add more stuff under the water. We've gotten a lot of feedback that people love to be under the water, but there's not a lot or not enough to do there yet. So we'd really like to keep expanding that, and especially into early access. I really imagine a lot of our patches are going to be things like that, going back and adding like a lot of love to spaces like that. Please don't let sharks or other animals eat me. Well, I mean, define eat. They don't like fully eat. They just like bite you a little bit. I haven't tested
Neon
in a bit.
Valor.
But... sorry, you got one?
I was going to say, Neon Valor says, is there any thoughts on improving combat? What are your thoughts on that stuff?
There are so many thoughts on improving combat. I'm curious what you mean, and if you have really specific things you'd want to see, we would love to get that feedback either in the survey or in our Discord. But we've been trying to push and nudge combat along little by little as we can. It's a pretty hard space, honestly, with a lot of competing priorities, because people have very different skill levels, I think, with combat generally, which makes it just kind of tricky. What's really hard for one person is really trivially easy for another person, which makes it like a tough space to make changes in. People also have a lot of different expectations for what the combat should be. Like, some people are like, this should be like Dark Souls, or this should be like Enshrouded, or it should be like Grounded, which are all very different references, where the combat actually behaves really differently. So there's like a lot of just like different things different people want. But definitely we're trying to make it better all the time. We're trying to improve targeting. We made a lot of improvements in this last demo update too, to like how enemies aggro and target players. We want to add more like weapon types eventually. We would love to do that. So definitely if you have like specific things you'd want to see, surveys and in the Discord's like the best place to get that to us. But we definitely want to keep improving combat. I think we feel like we got it to an okay baseline for right now. But hopefully we'll keep improving it. Do you mind if we stream the demo? Please stream the demo. We would love for you to stream the demo if you aren't already. Thank you, Sleek Cartoon, for the question. Oh, there's probably a lot of questions. I'm trying to catch up before I get too deep into like talking.
Yeah. Do you want me to like try to? I mean, the thing is, I don't know if I can answer many of these, but
you can tee them up.
I can do my best. Yes. Okay. Did the combat change at all between the last alpha and the demo?
Oh, I kind of touched on that a little bit, but yes, the combat did change a lot between the well, yeah, actually, I guess depending on when you played in the last alpha, we shipped one very late patch to the alpha group to help us test that I think included some of the combat changes. So it depends a little bit on when. But we definitely made lots of changes to the enemy attack patterns, the like VFX at play that show what kind of combo that they're in, motion warping improvements, changes to player and enemy attack speed to like create some hopefully better windows where players can like interact and like kind of like, I don't know if the combat designer would call this, I kind of akin it to like dancing. When you're kind of like fighting an enemy, you kind of want to get into this rhythm where you can like call and respond. And we tried to like really make that be more deliberate, where I felt a little bit more like, hey, just kind of get in and mash the button. So we're always trying to like nudge it up. So we definitely made a lot of changes to stuff like that. We also made improvements, actually, because I see someone that said I can dodge better now. We made a lot of improvements to like dodging and like when you can dodge cancel out of stuff, and also like making sure that the window of invincibility is more reliable for dodging too. So we're making tons of changes all the time, and yeah, those were definitely some of the big improvements between some of the recent alphas and the demo itself.
Aquatic mounts, riding a dolphin or shark could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a skimmer. We also, I don't know if we've shown it off, but the gift of the ocean spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about riding animals?
I would love that. Actually, our original concept, and I think in our old splash art we kind of had this you were like on top of like an ocean mount. I think we would really love to do that. We've just really struggled to do something that's like that ambitious on like a small team. We have a really small art team, and that requires like, I mean, even like the engineering side of that is pretty complicated too, for like the replicated movement of like a player and like a character and like a mounting system and that kind of stuff. So I think that's something we would love to add one day. Mounts would be a really fun opportunity and really fun way too. Like we have a lot of ways to enhance your traversal on the water, but not on the land. So I think that would be a really cool opportunity. But we don't have any plans for it currently. But I would love it.
There's this question I really like here. I was wondering if there are things where like, oh shoot, that's a wall. I need to think of different ways to overcome it. I assume you mean on like development of Voyagers of Nera and how we utilize feedback. And all I can think of is, yeah, we all the time we talk about things of like, well, how can we do this in the time that we have, but still ship like a good experience? But I don't know, do you have any examples that you could think of, Steph, of walls we've had to overcome?
Let's see. That's a good question. I mean, I think definitely even, I don't know, there's so many like little examples. Like a big one is one that I'm struggling to think of right now. But even, actually, like the return to main menu one where we tried to add that functionality recently, I think it's like a pretty fun example. God, yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about a little bit of like kind of what we wanted originally to do versus like what we kind of had to compromise to do based off of like the bugs we were seeing.
Yeah, I mean, return to main menu, basically, if I open up the menu and I want to go to the main menu, that's kind of something most games, if not every game, has. And we got it working, and then we realized that a ton of bugs kept popping up for various reasons, and we're like, oh, this thing that should be simple isn't. So like, what do we do there? I think it's both being like creative about, okay, how important is it for us to get this done versus other stuff, and then also like, how do we solve it finally? I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it was an interesting thing that we had to do a little bit where some of the bugs that were coming up, especially were like, I mean, two main flavors. One was like, hey, I'm getting disconnected in this scenario when I'm not intending to disconnect, like I'm crashing or you know, someone crashes or there's an internet blip or something. And players were being actually kicked to a black screen instead of the home screen. We're like, oh, that sucks. Even after we disabled some of the changes that we did. We're like, that's horrible as an experience. And then there was some other flavor of like gameplay bugs that were happening, like when a player returns to the main menu and goes into like the next game session, they like can't dodge roll. So we had to do a lot of things to like extra ensure that players could get back into the state we needed them to, where we needed them to reset, unfortunately, because of some of these bugs. So actually we added a very intentional thing that like AK did, where it's like, okay, anytime the host closes a session, actually every client will exit to the desktop because we need to make sure that people are all getting consistently reset so that they don't experience these bugs. Which it sucks because that kind of also feels like a bug in a way.
Yeah.
But I think it's a much less bad bug than like you can't dodge roll when you join someone else's game. That's kind of just the fun of game development sometimes, you know?
Yeah, so the things that I work on, I'm the art backend engineer. I do a lot of things that are kind of around game. I've touched stuff in the game, but everything that involves making sure you can play together, what happens if you disconnect, joining parties or game sessions, that's kind of my purview. And a lot of things can go wrong all the time. And so I guess the way I approach it is whatever is the best experience, even if it's suboptimal. And the thing that I hate most when I play games is like, I would rather a game crash than be buggy. Like if I can't play the game the way it's meant to be, I kind of just want it to be the game to tell me, actually, you have to restart, as opposed to things just being really suboptimal. And we've had to follow that quite a bit.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. It's tough because they're not fun decisions to make. It's like, I would really just love it to be, you know, easier and better. But sometimes them's the breaks. We have another question. Is there any possibility for faster boats? I don't know how much you've played of different alphas and stuff too. And this is an example where we can actually cheat a little bit to show you. But in the, kind of at the tail end of the second biome, did I? Oh no, my cheat not work. How come? Yeah, my cheat didn't work. Unlucky. Did yours work, AK?
Which one?
I want to build the big boat and show it.
I don't have it. Why is
that? Maybe we hiccuped. Did we turn the cheats off on accident?
It's because I changed accounts.
Oh, that's okay. Well, no sneak peek of that, unfortunately. But there is a bigger boat. It's both bigger and faster in the near the tail end of the second biome. And our ideal kind of pacing of that is actually that, like, every, let's say, like, every other biome or so, you would get, like, another boat, either an entirely new boat or a boat upgrade. So we hope, yeah, that we would continue to expand and make more boats, faster boats, bigger boats. So definitely boat upgrades is something that we're going to be eyeing. And especially, actually, too, other ways to augment your boat. So not just having to build new boats, but also being able to, like, maybe attach different upgrades to your boat, which could be things like making it go faster, or it could be things like giving it a fishing net, or things like giving it a harpoon gun. So definitely boat improvements generally, and including, I think, speed will come along with a bunch of those, are in our plans.
Listen Shout asks, so what's the best part about making the game so far?
I think the best part about making the game so far for me is I think probably the fact that we get to just, like, work on a co-op game. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Manuel, level 90. But I've worked mostly on competitive games the entire time I've worked in games. And it's a very different vibe, I would say. And both the types of problems you have to solve are different, but also the audience is very different. And it's been really cool to work on a cooperative game, which is, gaming is, I think, like, the primary way that I spend time with my friends. And so it's been really nice to work on a game that, like, really, I feel like, brings me close to what I like to do in games and how I like to use games as a way to spend time with people. And also to work with an audience that's super, super, like, welcoming and friendly and gives us really great feedback. So I think that's probably my favorite part. What about you, AK?
I think for me, it's how excited the community is constantly to, like, pitch in and help out. I mean, the fact that we get to playtest as much as we do, and people, like, every time we ship a playtest, which is about every 2 weeks with our alpha group, we reset progress. That's kind of like what we need to do. And I am so pleasantly surprised that so many people are okay with that. Personally, I feel like eventually I'd be like, I don't want to reset again.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that so many people, I guess, believe in the vision with us is really, really cool to see and experience.
Yeah. Let's see. We also have how many biomes are planned? Good question. And actually, if we had the cheats on, I was going to even sneak peek one. But we have currently, actually, in our alpha, 2 fully playable biomes, which is the one that you played in the demo, the Embrace. And we also have our second biome, the Reef, fully playable in our alpha group. We plan to have 3 biomes at early access launch. And we plan to have ideally 5 by our 1.0, but maybe more, depending on how things go and what makes sense for the game. So you can plan, though, on at least 3 by early access.
Okay, here's a spicy question.
Yeah.
Will we be able, from revealing too much, will we be able to jump during the Cita mode again?
Oh my god. And I saw one waterproof Jedi in the chat. Though actually, so we have some plans for that. It's gonna sound weird to say, but yeah, it was a bug, a very beloved bug by our community. For people that don't know, there used to be a bug that when you sat, and I think actually revealing too much maybe saw only the one where you could jump, but you actually used to be able to fully move, and it was kind of crazy. You were like zooming around, scooting on your butt.
Good butt scoot.
And our playtesters loved it, but it caused a lot of actually other. Talking about game dev being weird, a lot of other weird bugs, like you could bypass like all the oxygen, you couldn't die. If you did die, all this weird stuff would happen. So we definitely needed to fix it. But because the community like loves it really so much, I think we are really interested in trying to bring it back in some like special maybe community emote or something that you could like unlock as like a fun optional thing. So I think we're trying to figure out the best way to bring back some version of the butt scoot. But it will not be a by default thing like it was before, unfortunately. But it was a fun time. Remember the good times we had, you know? Let's see. We have so many questions. Oh, this is fun. Let's see. aquatic mounts riding. Oh yes, that's one. I think the one you got earlier. Any possibility of NPCs to interact with in the future? This is something I think we're definitely interested in. If our team can like support it, and if we can find a spot where it makes sense in the game world. There's some kind of things that fight funnily with the theme of the game. I don't know quite how to say it, because like the theme is you're kind of in this like ancient, lost, like long away world, long forgotten world, where I think a lot of the people that came before you are gone. That doesn't probably mean that there's like zero. It's kind of like, you know, there's aliens maybe, I don't know. So there might be other people in the world somewhere far away in our game too. But you know, we'd have to figure out the right like way to bring in other people, other beings, other NPCs. And a lot of the, as you've seen, a lot of the world is actually filled with these kind of like magical evil creatures or the spirits. We've talked about wanting like maybe your spirit anchor to actually talk to you, because it's actually supposed to be this like really super powerful, awesome magic thing. And it would be really cool if it like actually directly dialogued with you or told you about the world before you were there. So I think that would be a really cool way to bring in some NPC like dialogue and interaction. We have also definitely talked about like, could there be NPCs in the world that could give you things that are like optional kind of side questy things, like a treasure map. I think someone said in chat. So it's on our radar. I think we don't have a good idea of how it fits into the game yet, and we'll probably be a hot minute before we could support something like that in the game. But we really love that. We actually, an old version of the game had a lot more NPCs. And that was just really cool to be able to build up that world, and we'd be really excited to do more of that.
I do love the idea of like treasure hunting. I mean,
yeah.
Sea of Thieves, obviously, or even Legend of Zelda, the DS game, Sands of Time, or whatever it was called. Phantom Hourglass.
Sands of Time. Close.
Close enough. There's sand, there's time. You could like get these random things to get all different ship parts for like cosmetic things. That was like one of my favorite things I did for hours after beating the game. So, personally, I love that.
Yeah, I would love that too. We need cannons to avoid the sharks getting close to the boat. We would really love something like that. That would be so fun. I shudder to think of the replication, but... Oh, I think someone said it was hard to see, but I made it full screen, so hopefully it is better? Easier to see the game now? Or is it the cropping of the stream, maybe you mean? Or is it our portraits are too big? Our portraits are kind of big. I don't know how much you care about my face. I'm gonna shrink it. You're getting shrunk too, AK.
No.
Too bad.
That was the most important part.
Close.
My modeling career.
Yeah, AK was actually just here for the exposure.
It's true. I heard you saying you wanted to brighten the exposure levels or something. I assumed you were talking about me.
Yeah, yep.
Thank you.
Hopefully the game is a little more in focus, but I think I have it at the kind of max resolution, unfortunately. So excited to play this. Thanks to the first time chat, Diana Lunax. Lunax? Yeah, do you have a treasure hunt with maps for a future plan? We don't have a currently planned, I would say, version of that, but it's definitely an idea we've bounced around a lot. There's this really fun, I think, like you said, AK kind of like idea of an extra type of objective or completion layer of a biome that's like just really exciting, I think, and would be a really fun feature, especially in a very exploration-driven game. And I think there's so many spaces in our big, cool world that we could like hide things like that I think it would be really fun. So definitely it's something we would love to do. Not a firm plan, but not off the table either.
Lone Wolf asks, would love to see clothes crafting options, not to improve stats, but just aesthetics to show creativity. I assume like dyeing, that kind of thing. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, well, it's interesting too, because I guess I don't know if this person played some of the previous. Also, look at the sunset. It played some of the previous versions of the game or not. We actually used to have no armor, and it was a purely cosmetic clothing set. But we found that really undercut some of, I think, like the both expectations and like kind of satisfaction of crafting things like armor and gear and upgrading visually. But that being said, definitely it was so fun actually to have those like purely cosmetic outfits, and we've even talked about we would love to have like a, could you have like a, like you know, you don't want to always walk around in your full armor while you're like going around in your base petting your little spirits and like, you know, building your house and stuff. It'd be really cool to actually just be able to have like a lounge set or something that you could like wear while you're in your base. Or maybe even if you're like, if we had farming someday, it would be really cool if we had like a farmer's set that you could like wear. And some games, like actually, I don't know how many people have played Core Keeper. I love that game. I played so much of it. They have some really fun bonuses actually for those outfits too. That like it's kind of both cosmetic and gameplay. So like there's like the farming outfit that like gives you better like yield from your crops when you like harvest. That's where harvest the crops while you're wearing it. So I think there's a lot of room for things like that. So we don't currently have plans, but we've definitely talked about it, and it would be a space that I think we still feel really makes sense in our game, and we would like really love to be able to do.
You should wear chaps, and then you're better at handling animals.
Monster teaming? That would be fun.
Whoa.
And then regarding like dying and stuff too, that is something I think we would also like to do. That would be, I think, really fun to be able to like further customize your armor too. I think that's something we'd still have to figure out how we want to do, but we are adding things like pigments in the kind of like late second biome, early third biome kind of range. So there's definitely a good springboard there for something like that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where that is now, but before we definitely had like individual parts of the clothes that you could dye in different ways. I think that became too hard to support, but if we could bring anything like that back, that would be really fun.
It would be so cool. I think we would love to. So it's really, I mean, kind of the struggle being on a small team in the startup. It's always just like what is the best thing we can do for the game with the people that we have. And there's so many things we want to do for the game, but it's not always the best thing we could do. And so we're always kind of having to make those trade-offs. But I would love to bring something like that back. Let's see.
Oh my god, the best part is like, do you ever watch Monster Factory?
No, what's that?
From like the McElroy brothers, they're comedians, they do podcasts and stuff like that. They have a series called Monster Factory where they go into character creators and kind of just create a backstory. They role play a monster that they create.
Oh, cute.
And that was the favorite thing about our character creators. I wouldn't make a monster, I would just make everyday objects. Like, I'd try to be a lemon or a grapefruit or like
is that why
saddle.
You picked the weird colors all the time?
Yeah. Like today I would be a lime in our playtest or something. I just really like that.
That was fun.
I miss that.
Personal expression. More questions. Music. Will it be as it is now, accusing at certain points, or will there be an option to have it on all the time? I so much enjoy the ambient and soothing music while playing. We've gotten a lot of commentary about the frequency of the music and how much is playing. And we definitely have plans to expand like how many tracks we have too. I think we've been a little hesitant to extend how often they play because we only have like a small set of tracks. So we've been kind of like waiting until we had more to maybe extend the duration of those. But that's definitely something we would like to do. That's a good idea for a configuration too, that like what if you could say like it always plays? I don't think we've thought of that. So I'll definitely bring that back to the team. But I hope we'll have more music tracks, and that means we could have music playing more often too with like less gaps. So many. Oh, thanks for the first time chat, Chaosman23. I love the art style, and I'm wondering what inspired the art style. I wish we had an artist on the stream for this question, because that would be really awesome to hear them talk about it. But I'll do my best. And it's, there's we pull a lot of inspirations from a lot of sources. We do actually, I think, have a previous dev stream too, where Mitch, our art director, talks about some of that a little bit. But definitely we pull a lot of reference even from different media sources, like from anime and from like comics and from other like movies we've seen. Obviously we have a very like heavy influence from like Polynesian, Southeast Asian cultures, also from like mythological sources too. We talk a lot about like Greek gods and like spirits from like other cultures as well. So there's we try to like take a bunch of these references and bring them all together to create a unique world. So I wouldn't say that we're kind of driven by like one specific thing, but we try to kind of find elements that we like in lots of different things and bring them together to create something hopefully that feels really unique. And some of the reason we chose this visual direction too, just to reveal a little bit more, is we really wanted something that would be a lot more like bright and like welcoming. I think everyone has played these survival crafting games that are like full of like zombies and guns and blood and dungeons and dank scary stuff, and we really wanted to kind of move away from that kind of atmosphere into like a more unique, vibrant, welcoming one that would invite more people in. So that's a lot of why we chose it.
There's not scary stuff in our game, though. We do have scary stuff.
That's true. We do have some scary stuff.
But it kind of like, it contrasts well with the brightness and the color.
Yeah, it's actually really fun, I feel like, to like add that kind of contrast in to like a bright world. It's almost kind of like, I don't know, when everything's like a scary zombie, it's like, okay, cool, like I'm just shooting another zombie in the face. But when there's like these kind of like scary elements within this like bright, vibrant world, I think it kind of tells like a deeper story, which is interesting.
Ooh, here's a question I can actually answer.
Oh, go for
roughly
it.
How much? Roughly, Asenka says, how much development is in Blueprints versus C or C++, and have you been migrated across UE5 versions, and how have those been? Ooh. I haven't been involved in all that, but I can say most of our designers or people who don't program in C++ use Blueprints, so we use them extensively. That being said, just about everything that we have has some base level C++ class so that we can do all the customization that we need. I think we did do, so we definitely have done a UE5 migration, a version migration, a minor one. Did the game start in UE4, Unreal Engine 4? Do you know?
I think we were in 5 as long as, I'm trying to remember, as long as I've been here? I don't know, actually. But we've been on UE5 for a really long time, for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have done a migration. That was from our...
Oh, Waterproof Jedi says 4.27.
Wow, okay.
One more ancient than he knows.
Quite a lot of migrations.
Yeah. Definitely, it's always kind of a tough struggle, too, I think, between, like, there's so many updates coming, actually, to Unreal, like, pretty often. It's kind of, like, a tough tension between, like, wanting to upgrade to get these, like, new cool features, but, like, every upgrade also incurs some, like, risk and definitely a lot of work. Upgrades are very not free. I would say they take a lot of testing, a lot of like engineering effort to do, making sure our content like actually like still works and is backwards compatible. So it's definitely a pretty tough endeavor sometimes to be able to do those upgrades. But there's a lot of really cool features coming out, so it's always really fun to try to figure out of like, oh, is there something we can get that's really going to help us make like this part of the game much better.
I do think from a production perspective, you kind of do have to at a certain point just say like, okay, like, we're locking it here. Just because even if there are lots of great features, but there's always a million ways to get things done or like solve a problem. And so
yeah,
you
actually
don't necessarily need a feature to get the thing that you want.
Yeah, like even recently actually, because there were some things that we wanted, but I think we couldn't really incur the like effort of a full upgrade. We actually like looked at some of the systems in like a newer version of UE and like ported them almost to our project in like a very isolated way. So yeah, sometimes it's kind of tough. And yeah, but there's like creative solutions like that, or even just like looking at kind of how they do it and like being like, oh, how would I implement that if I needed to support it? Are there going to be Twitch integrations as to controls and things planned? We, also, that's funny. Would it be technically able to add a tribunal system to punish streamers? I don't think we want to punish anybody. That's really funny.
Hey, now. I like that.
Maybe, yeah. I don't think we currently have any Twitch integration controls, but that would be something really fun to add. I think that would be a great suggestion for our future upvote board. First time chat. Landed here randomly. Can someone give me a TLDR of what this game is about and what kind of game it is? Sorry I missed this one, so hopefully I can still answer you if you're still in the chat. This is Voyagers of Nera, which is a seafaring survival crafting game set in a magical ocean world where you surf, you swim. I wish we had the cheat so I could show the surfboard. You surf, you swim, you sail.
I learned my lesson.
You rescue magical spirits, which you can bring back to your base, which help unlock magical abilities for you. So that's our game. It's a co-op focused survival crafting game, which you can play multiplayer demo right now on Steam with up to 10 people. So it's a free demo right now. I'm glad you found us. Welcome in.
I like playing games, but I hate paying for them.
Our multiplayer demo is free. It's free on Steam right now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Whoa, dude. That's so funny.
Hey, Steph, how hard is it to join my friend in-game?
It is actually so easy to join your friends in-game. You can join via Steam buddy list join, or you can also get this handy dandy invite code that the server host will have. They can send to you, and you'll be able to join them directly.
Wow, whoever did that really knows their stuff.
They do! AK did that stuff. That's the secret. I do think, actually, that's one of the things that's been, like, so amazing, honestly, is, like, for how long our game has, like, been multiplayer. I feel like, I mean, even, like, last NextFest, I saw a lot of survival crafting demos actually coming out as single player only, even though they were eventually going to be multiplayer. And I was so disappointed because I was like, man, I really want to try this game like with people. And it wasn't possible. But we've been developing our game primarily in multiplayer mode for so long. So like we're very fortunate to have really awesome engineers who have made that possible and who have made it super easy to join and play together.
It's very hard to go from single player to multiplayer when you've got stuff going, but going from multiplayer to single player is not as hard. So I think that has been a huge boon for the team. I mean, obviously it's been a lot of work, but starting from multiplayer, I mean, the game used to be like a live service game. That was the vision for it, right?
Yes, it was.
With servers that we would run for people and that kind of thing, to now running locally or on your own dedicated server. And so I guess that just means, yeah, multiplayer has always been the forefront, and now it's been really, really important.
Yeah. Actually, our studio mission, if you don't know, so I think a lot of people know our game, but not our studio. So our studio is called Treehouse Games. And I think we've probably revamped it a few times, but our mission for a long time has been to make games that are the best way for friends to spend time together, which definitely gives us a very like multiplayer-focused slant. I think right now maybe the latest version is like create worlds that players can get lost in together. Because we really wanted to bring in some of our like focus on like world building and creating amazing worlds, but we've always been really focused on multiplayer experiences and how we can create ways for people to like really like deepen their time together. So I think that we've always had a very multiplayer focused slant.
Awesome. So many questions.
I know, it's hard to keep up. So sorry if we're super slow. We're trying our best. Are you aware of the ability to bunny hop on the water? Yes, we are aware. We're trying to figure out what we want to do about that. It is a little silly of an exploit. But also, we definitely need you to be able to get out of the water effectively too. Like we wouldn't want to prevent you from being able to jump out of the water, for example. So that's on our radar. We're gonna figure it out. But for now, you can have fun with that little exploit. Can't we blame the sharks for the reason that there are no other people in the world? I mean, the sharks gotta eat too. I don't think that's how the people here died, but I wasn't there. Will there be pets? Add life to your base. I think that's something else we would love to do in the future. I mean, I think we would definitely love to just expand our creature catalog kind of generally and have more pets, more spirits, more things in the world, ambient creatures. So that's definitely something we would be really excited to add. Maybe even we'll do a whole expansion around it. If I can convince people, maybe we'll do a whole expansion around it. Oh, so many people still joining. Yeah.
So Milk asks, so in regards to the 10-player co-op limit, is that limit of people simultaneously playing or the limit of total on the save game, like in Stardew? So for sure that's the simultaneous limit. I'm gonna say it's like a soft limit, so we know the game, or we're trying to make sure the game runs well with 10 people. I think that being said, if we're doing things like dedicated servers, or you have a really beefy machine, we don't want to necessarily prevent you from going above that limit, but the game is not really being designed for that. Do you have more to add to that stuff? Because that's at least from like a technical.
Yeah, definitely it's more of a, we think this is like kind of the best bang for your buck. Oh, did you make me a bedroll? Oh my god. Cute.
I'm a good host.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you.
But I think it's like that, or kind of, best bang for your buck. We'll make sure that you can play with 10 people reliably. It's definitely a soft limit. I think we plan to expose it as like a thing you could configure on your server too, eventually. So yeah, if you have like a big group, you could definitely play. I think we're probably a little hesitant. I guess we haven't talked about like, if we had a limit, like what does that mean for like, is it people joining or like total members ever? I think that's not something we kind of like currently have like a, I don't know, like a hard rule on yet. I think it is definitely primarily concurrent people though, which could get funny if you have 15 friends that cycle in and out, but what if they all want to play on one day? So we'll have to figure that out.
I don't see why we'd prevent that. Like I think our ethos is kind of just like let people have fun.
Yeah, let people do what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure the game doesn't crash and, isn't terrible.
Yeah. I don't know if this has been answered, but will there be seasonal events and build items? We don't have current plans like queued up for that. However, we've talked a lot in the past about wanting to do things like during cherry blossom season, adding like cherry blossom themed buildables, or during like winter time, adding like wintry themed buildables, or having some sort of like streamer event maybe during some of these like holidays. So that's definitely something we're really interested in. We're definitely focused, I feel like, very tunnel visioned, honestly, on just getting the base game finished, so we haven't had a lot of space yet to kind of back up and reevaluate some of those things, but we've always talked about wanting to do seasonal events. We've worked on a lot of live service games that have had those kind of seasonal events, like me and AK are actually both from Riot, and actually so is Space North, where I feel like they do so many of those, and they're so fun for players, and so we would really love to be able to do that. But no plans yet, which pains me to say. I really want a winter island. Also, some first-time chats from Gaming's Black Jesus and Nicole. Welcome in. Let's see. Oh yeah, it would be cool if the Big Guardian talked. Will there be cannons? Not currently planned yet, but I think I mentioned earlier we would definitely love to add, especially like cannons that you could equip to the boat. Maybe a hand cannon at some point could be really cool. Not off the table.
Cannon?
Spirit cannon?
Like Pikmin?
Oh my god! Well, do you remember that bug?
Spirits?
That's my favorite bug that's ever happened in our game that Space North found, where when we used to have the spirits that you literally physically rescued, like their eggs, you could like, I think it was like the fire spirit Alara could be like equipped in your ammo slot and you could shoot it with the bow. And that was so funny. I was like...
I never saw that.
It was like the best bug that's ever existed, I feel like.
That's incredible. Why is that not a feature?
I don't know. I love world building and stories, especially since you guys are from different studios making this great game. Can we expect minor details and Easter eggs with references to your prior experience, other games, or elements from them? Probably not from other games. I think that's like maybe a little illegal. But I think from our own game, we would love to do that. There's one, I feel like, I swear to God, somehow we're going to find a way to get... There was this old boss prototype we used to have that we've called Charles, who is literally just a big giant orb with like a little tail, and he would like bounce around, and he made like emoji faces. So like when he was gonna like attack you, he made like a little angry ASCII face, or when he was like, he had like a sleeping face when he was like not aggroed yet. So I think that would be a really fun Easter egg to bring back. The revival of the butt scoot emoji probably falls into that a little bit as like a Easter egg. So we would love to add, especially I think for people who have been with us this whole time, I would love to add stuff like that, so that, I don't know, it's just kind of like a fun way to honor the commitment that like people have given to us, and so I would really love to do that.
Well, it's a game. It's meant to be fun and enjoyed.
Yeah.
And all of its silliness.
Oh, first time
favorite.
chat.
Actually, I think that's my favorite part about making a game, is that it's a game. Like, we're not necessarily saving lives. We can really just play. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I feel like we have a couple people on the team whose spouses are doctors, and I feel like that would make me a very nervous person if I was a doctor. I'd be so stressed.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a surgery and be like, well, I did see this thing on YouTube that I want to try. Like, that's a little sketchy, but
you can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's see. I noticed some trees in the Embrace are taller than normal. If you don't commit mass deforestation, do they keep getting taller? That sounds like a... If they're always the same height but they're taller, that's probably correct. If they are changing heights, that's probably a bug. And I would love if you could report that to us. That's so funny. Would you consider adding in armor dyeing / minor customization? Yeah, I think we would consider it, but we definitely have to be confident that that's something we could support. But it's not off the table, and I think that's a feature we would all really love. So I think that would be really cool. Now, question about the spirits. Are there plans to make them grow with you? Maybe some sort of letting them evolve, so if you grow, that your spirit can grow with you along the journey. That would be really, really awesome. We don't have plans for that currently, but we've definitely talked about things like that, of like how could your companion especially kind of get better with you over time, or like what utility do they provide. I think for now we're focused a little bit more on this like little base guy, like what does he do? Because I think we've gotten this question actually a lot in the Discord of like, what does it do? In the old demo it used to give you abilities, but now there's probably a lot of you have noticed we've switched the abilities to be unlocked. Well, you went and completed that spirit encounter. We switched a lot of the abilities to be unlocked from like the spirit encounters, and so that's kind of the primary way, because we thought that was like a more fun and engaging kind of way to give those abilities and could let you mix and match them a lot more without losing the little buddy that you want to play with. But we still want these to have like a meaningful impact on your gameplay, so that's something we're exploring right now. But we'll probably focus on that first, but maybe some part of that will someday involve evolving. That was so hard to say. Evolving. Will there be a full story, like beginning and an end? That's a good question. I think there is. I mean, I think in the background, especially for our own purposes, we do kind of have like an overarching story. I don't think we'd want to create like an explicit end to our adventures. I feel like that kind of would, I don't know, what's the word? Maybe prohibit kind of, I think, some of the joy of like a sandbox survival crafting game where you can kind of make your own story. So I think we kind of want to stay in the stance where we're giving you an interesting world and the tools to kind of create your own journey. But there is kind of definitely an overarching background story. We have some of that obviously communicated in the game through like lore stones and journals of previous adventurers. I think it would be really cool actually to, I don't know, somehow maybe publish some of like the deeper lore somewhere, even if it's just in the wiki. So that's something I think we're definitely open to. But I don't think we'll kind of bring super heavy narrative elements into the game for a lot of those reasons.
Yeah. Things aren't random, though, either. Like, I don't work necessarily in that space, but when we do talk about adding features and things, I hear a lot of talk about, well, how does this relate to, like, the world that we're in, the magical world? So it definitely influences the decisions, because I've seen that.
Yes, for sure. Let's see. Do you plan to add more different enemies in the first biome? In the first biome, most likely not. I think we do have a design for and some art for a like elite enemy for the first biome that we really wanted to get in our original pass, and we kind of changed things up and didn't quite make it. So there's a chance that we bring in that one maybe someday, or maybe even some other ocean enemies, but probably we won't change the first biome too much. I think especially we want to keep it kind of as like a more onboarding and like starter zone. So I don't think we want to like up the ante too much, so to speak, but we do plan actually to add more variety in some of the future biomes and even maybe mix and match some of the enemies that are in there so that there's like a little bit more variety per biome. So hopefully that will help. Let's see.
What is the reasoning behind, Grace asked, what is the reasoning behind removing hunger depletion as opposed to now where the system is, it's like additive. You can eat and you fill up your meter and then that gives you bonuses as opposed to you have to constantly maintain a like good level of hunger, otherwise you suffer.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of reasons generally, but I think one of the biggest reasons, and I think if you actually examine the systems, like if you kind of peel back some of the like visuals and how things happen to, I don't know how to say it, like the behavior that we want it to have, I think actually they're doing very similar functions where, you know, if you don't eat, you are weaker, and eating helps you prepare for combat and prepare for adventures more effectively. We were getting a lot of feedback, which I think was totally valid, about how punishing it felt to start at a baseline and then have to like just basically wait until your hunger ticks below and have like your health and your strength and stuff taken away from you. Versus like now it's actually the same kind of thing happens. If you don't have food, you are weaker than if you do have food. But it feels more, I think, psychologically rewarding that it's like a positive reinforcement versus a negative reinforcement. So that was a really big reason, is we wanted to kind of like flip the perception of that. So even though the kind of outcomes that happen of like, okay, cool, I'm like having a little bit of trouble in combat, I want to get stronger, so I will eat more. I think those things still happen in the same kind of way, but we thought that this was like a more, both a more opt-in system, because some people also just don't want to do combat necessarily, or only really do it if they have to, and so they can kind of opt in when they're choosing to go on an adventure, and it's like a more rewarding type of process of like, cool, I'm planning well, not like I'm slowly starving to death all the time. because we're not really trying to simulate like realism necessarily with that system. And I hope now that we have this kind of system in a more pro-positive way too, it will also, I think, better incentivize some of the things we had but were really hard to like find value in, like eating foods that will give you like buffs. So that's really the main reasons why. I could definitely get into that more in Discord too, because I know you're always in our Discord. But if you have any more questions, well, hopefully that answers it. So many questions. I'm so sorry. I wish we were faster. I hope we're getting to at least a lot of questions that you're really interested in. And just a reminder, because people have been here for a little bit, we are going to do a giveaway at the end of the stream. So stay tuned. So what'd you say, Aki?
From Chris NeoVX, are you planning more enemies for full version?
Well, it depends on what you mean more. Yes. So every...
More than what you see today.
Yes. Every biome will have a unique faction. And so if you're only playing the demo and you haven't played the alpha, we have a second faction of enemies called the Reef Hobs. And they're kind of like a crab-like Murloc-y kind of race. And so... They're definitely not Murlocs. Talking about things we're not supposed to do because they're kind of illegal. But yeah, they're kind of these like crab anthropomorphic type of monsters that have been like kind of corrupted by evil, and so they have like big pokey spears and they spit acid at you. So they're really different. We're also working on our newest enemy faction right now for our third biome, and they're very, very cool. I think we'll probably do some sneak peeks of them soon, but they're a lot spookier and a lot I don't know, just a lot more different than that. And I think we also want to add more ocean enemies and other things too. And maybe those might get spread around the world more since the ocean's a little bit more of a big place. So definitely there will be more enemies.
Eagles Grace says, do you still have it where you can do a dedicated server? And if so, where to find it? So we are definitely targeting to ship dedicated server support with early access launch on August 5th. Currently, we kind of have an ongoing dedicated server test in a way. So if you're interested, I think you might already be part of it, Eagles. If not, definitely you can be a part of it. I'm the person who's basically making sure dedicated servers work and happen. And so if you also had specific requests or issues with it, I definitely want to hear what's been going on. If you have a follow-up, just let me know.
Awesome. Let's see. The Twitch gamer community have a lot of people who like to create music and stuff. Perhaps there are music creators out here who would like to create music that fits the vibe of the game that they can contribute and then be named somewhere in the soundtracks list as a community creator. That's a really fun idea. I would love for you to share that in our Discord too. I guess I don't know what our like moral stance is on having people like put content directly in the game, because I think there's a pretty fine line. This is totally me too, just speaking as like my own personal perspective. But I think there's a really fine line between like inviting people to contribute and like being exploitative of their efforts. And I think we really don't want to be exploitative, and I wouldn't want to ask someone kind of something so high effort as that. But also, I mean, people have a lot of passion and they really want to do it, so it's always like a really hard kind of like thing to juggle. But I think that's a really fun idea, and it would be, I mean, I think we're always looking for ways that the community can contribute and collaborate more directly, so I think that'd be a great one to post in our Discord, and maybe Cheery could follow up with you. Really fun idea. I dove underwater and got eaten. This game is definitely terrifying. Sorry. They're just a little hungry, you know?
You're welcome.
Yeah, or you're welcome, like, if you liked that experience. Yeah. Will the crabs rave? Oh my god, I want to add that so bad. You have no idea.
That's yeah, I really want to add that.
Are there any plans? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say by me, I mean our animator.
Yeah, Andrew, please? Other Andrew. Are there any plans for a way to shorten the cooldown on major spirit abilities? Some of them are incredibly cool and fun to use, but they take a long time. We don't, I think, have any direct plans just yet, but we've definitely talked about, like, what if there are, like, maybe a benefit your little spirit companions could give you is maybe a certain one would give you cooldown reduction on your abilities, and that could be cool, versus, like, maybe another one would give you, like, a higher potency on your abilities, so they'd be stronger. Or maybe there could be certain items that you could craft and build that would give you that cooldown reduction. So I think we don't know quite yet how we want to do that, but it's not off the table for sure. Oh my god, there's so many. I need to get to the giveaway, but there's so many questions. We'll spend maybe a couple more minutes doing questions just because I feel like we're a little behind, so I'll try to catch up. Also, I hope this has been a fun stream so far. Sorry we didn't get to play or show as much. It was a little harder to juggle the chat than I thought. There's a lot of people here. It's awesome.
I appreciate that there's so many people who are
asking questions. It's awesome. Sometimes I feel like really stupid when we stream because I'm just like sitting here like talking so much, and I'm like, if people are a little quiet, it can be I don't know, it's awkward. So I love that everybody's here and like so excited to ask questions.
I don't know what you're talking about, Steph. I love talking about myself.
Will the base building be primarily wood-based, or will there be types of materials to build from? As a lover of building creative bases, 250-hour Dracula Castle in Valheim. Oh, that's a fun question. We definitely plan to expand the types of materials that you build with. There's actually a building stream, a building dev stream we did a week or two ago, where we even sneak peek some of the new building themes and stuff. So we'll definitely, as we want to, ideally, as we expand into the other biomes, offer you variations of your building materials that are themed from that biome, like clay and like other things. So we definitely plan to expand and bring that back. We'll probably always have to keep some parts or some accessibility to say like basic wood. That's been something we're struggling a little bit with, actually, of like, how do we make sure people can always build a boat, can always build a basic shelter? So we're still juggling a little bit like which materials that will kind of like encompass, but we definitely want to bring new cool building materials and let you change the the themes of your building. So we have like a thatch themed, we're calling it, building set, which will be a kind of like a variation of this one that you'll get in the first biome. We have like a kind of like more stucco one, like the one that used to be in the old demo, but I think it's going to be even cooler, that you can get in the Reef, which you can make from like clay and stone. So definitely we plan to do that, and I'm really excited to keep expanding that way. So many questions. Shamira, welcome in. What part of the game did you enjoy more to develop? That's a good question. AK, do you have a favorite feature that you worked on?
What is my favorite feature? I think, well, I was the first person on our team to take the character creator and like integrate it into the game, and I had no idea what I was doing, so that was really fun. And then I think, honestly, the thing that lets you join the game through your Steam's friends list, where you can just pop open your Steam friend who's in game, right click on them, and just say join game. That was the most satisfying to complete for me, for sure.
I remember even the time when we were first working on that, we were like, can we even do this? Is it too much work? And you were able to like get it, and it worked so well. And I remember we were just like all so happy. It's like such a huge upgrade.
I wish I could take credit for that. There's a great plugin called Redpoint from this like single developer who single-handedly, it's a paid plugin, but they single-handedly like support integration with Epic Online Services and stuff. And so because of that, it was just so seamless, so easy. So shout out to that developer too.
I'm gonna sit next to the spirit while we talk.
Yeah, I'll come join you.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's a good question.
You've done quite a bit for the game, like directly in the game.
Oh, that's funny. I was gonna say, I was ironically gonna say, I don't think I've developed that many features.
Well, you've done like all of our UI.
With a lot of help from Billy, I will say, and Luke. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, I'm actually a producer. So I do a lot of different things around the game, especially, and some in the game. But I'm not like a designer or an artist or an engineer. So I've been like learning how to do some like UMG, which is like the Unreal UI programming. So I've been learning how to do some UI work. I've been doing some UX work too, which is something I've not done in previous roles. So that's been really, I think, fun and satisfying. I think the probably thing I thought was the coolest maybe that I worked on, and maybe I was happy because it worked so well, I think, with a lot of help from AK actually, was our like loading screen, like our splash home screen, because I both designed the UI for that, and I was able to, with a lot of help from Billy and AK and some other people, but I was able to get that version kind of like set up so that that AK could actually go and hook up all the back end behavior to it. And that was really cool, because I was just like, I think that's probably the single biggest thing I put in the game. And it like looked really cool at the time. We were going from like this horrible splash screen that like looked so bad. So it was like a huge glow up that made me really happy to do.
Yeah, our game really used like a lot of very, very temporary assets and like stuff for a very long time, until suddenly I feel like there's just this huge push. I don't know if anyone even said to do it. But we just started replacing stuff with things that looked a lot more professional and nice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We're like, what if like everything could not be like hideous placeholders?
Yeah. What if this didn't look like an MS Paint drawing?
It's weird because sometimes stuff like that is so small. Like we kicked it probably down the road for a really long time, but it makes such a huge difference in the perception of the game. So it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna rapid fire a few more questions as best as I can. I'll try not to ramble too much. It would be cool to see an ability to take spirits with you or befriend them as pets. I think we would love to do something like that someday, or even like just general animal husbandry system. No plans for it yet. Are there going to be more types of cooking in the future, like smoking or salting and curing? We've also talked about that. No plans for it yet, but I think especially in our future biomes, we'll have more room as we expand the mechanics to do stuff like that. So something we'd be really excited about. Let's see.
See, here's a question from Nolark, a follow-up about asking how many players can be online at once. So I think you're saying you have a big friend group that's greater than 10, but maybe they play at different times. If that's the case, then a dedicated server probably sounds like what you would want. So currently, like the game that Steph and I are playing, I'm hosting on my machine. So if I close my game, that means Steph's going to get kicked. If you want a server that's like always available, people can join at any point, especially if you're in different time zones. A dedicated server will kind of give you that. I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah, sounds right up your alley.
Yeah. If so, you can ask follow-ups here or in Discord. I'm THJarJar, or just Jar Jar in Discord. I forget.
Let's see. I think there's one more question about how many biomes plan in the game. 3 by early access, 5 by 1.0, or more. Do you plan to have any creator program at launch beyond the playtesting group? Yes, we do. I don't know a lot about it. Cheery handles all of that because she is awesome. But I think we do plan to have a creator program of some sort. We're trying to figure out exactly what that is and like what benefits it'll have. But we're really interested in continuing to keep our awesome creator community close. So definitely we want to create some opportunities to like have a program like that and collaborate. So definitely look out for that. Potential for big sea monsters in the open seas like kaiju crab and giant squid. We are working on a big crab right now. Though he won't be in the open seas. Yeah. Oh, you don't even know.
What? I don't even
you don't even know.
So far behind.
Working on a big crab. He's not a super duper duper big crab, but he's pretty big crab. For kaiju level crab, I don't think we're currently planning, but I think we would love to add more leviathans like the stalker over time. Because he's super, super cool. Oh my god, it's really hard to rapid fire the questions.
Shout out to Mara Winterhide for helping test dedicated servers. Glad you're having a good time with it.
I thought you were
probably some not so good times too.
I thought you were gonna say shout out to Mara for saying she's she gave me the chat. She's
also,
like, who's the handsome person
Mara
with the glasses?
For saying I'm a handsome man in the glasses. I appreciate that.
I don't know why I thought that's what you were gonna say. Crafting from storage. We actually technically have it in the game right now. You can upgrade to imbued chests, and they will give you crafting from storage. So it is a cool upgrade. Everyone's been confused about it, so we're talking about if we should bring it in closer or as baseline functionality. Light and heavy attacks for weapons. Not yet, but definitely something we're interested in. Grappling hook. Probably a little scary right now, but I think we would love to add that too. Okay, I'll give 2 more questions, and then we gotta do the giveaway. Someone's gonna kill me. Let's see. We're getting towards the end. I hope I didn't miss any. Well, I'm sure I missed some. So sorry for anyone that I missed. If I did miss any questions and you still really, really want to know, definitely hit us up in the Ask the Devs channel in Discord.
Yes.
Did you ever figure out whether the issue I had with sharks hitting me from a mile away was a problem with the shark or the boat or the hitbox or my own problem? I don't know, actually. I'll have to ask Ben. But he was starting to look into it because he was not sure either. Okay. It's not, don't type giveaway yet. That's not even the code. But we will we'll start our giveaway now. So our giveaway, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but not when I bumped it. Our giveaway is for 1 early access key. So don't type in giveaway yet because it won't work. Thanks for the follow. Giant sushi. I want a giant sushi. Maybe that's what I should do for dinner tonight.
Ooh, I could do some sushi.
I could do some sushi. I will put this thing on the screen and hopefully it will work? Question mark? I think confidence. You can kind of see. Yeah, I'm very confident always, you know. I exude confidence, I think. Let me confirm with Cheery the code we agreed on. And there's so many things I wish we could have shared. I actually expected it to be a little slower in chat, so there weren't as many things that we got to show as I wanted to. But we did a lot of really awesome things in the last few weeks too. So we released a new gameplay trailer. So if you haven't seen that, I think a lot of you probably have because you came either from the PC Gaming Show or you're longtime fans. But if you haven't seen our new gameplay trailer, definitely check that out. It's on YouTube. We also did a special trailer actually for the Women's Led Gaming Show. It had my face in it, which was very awkward for me. But it was really cool to be able to be featured with a lot of really awesome women game devs. And so there's a special version kind of like of a trailer for the Women's Led Gaming Show that you can check out too. And a lot of really cool games in that show. It has, like NextFest, it has a filter on Steam too. So I would definitely go check it out. Excuse me. Cheery has confirmed the code for me. So I'm going to set up the giveaway. Message must contain this thing. And we're going to start. So, if you want to enter the giveaway, blah. Does this really happen that fast? Is this fake?
That is wild.
Is this fake? Did Cheery start it in the background? Or maybe my chat's just behind. But yeah, so type in, what's the word? Exclamation. I think it says current entry is 9 up here. I feel like this is a visual bug.
The giveaway is for one key code to the game. Is that right?
Yes, one early access code. This is crazy, these number differences. Cheery, do you know? Is this bad? Is this normal? Manifest code. I don't think that one's gonna work. I feel like it shouldn't be getting the old ones. I don't know.
Also,
might be a lot of lag.
59 entries of 63 viewers. That doesn't sound right.
I'm like, should we restart it? Is it scuffed? Will everyone be really sad if I restart it? I just don't want to mess it up.
But we can just keep drawing if people aren't here, right? Like,
I don't know. Okay, but Cheery thinks everybody that entered is in this chat, so maybe that's fine. I'm scared. Well, definitely, just in case, if you didn't type it, make sure to type it. Yeah, I really hope Space North wins the key. What are you going to do if you get drawn, Michael? Then what?
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, is this
I think if
bug?
Donating to charity. We should add a key every time a Treehouse member is drawn.
That'd be so funny. Oh, I should have played like music or something. Awkward.
Quick, open up Miro.
I do want to say though too, before the contest ends and we draw the winner, just thanks everybody for showing up to the stream. I hope you had fun. I wish we could have sneak peeked a little more stuff. But we'll definitely have plenty of opportunities for that. We also have another dev stream actually tomorrow with our co-founders. So Michael, Space North, and Adwin, Ryan, are going to be doing an AMA tomorrow. And you can ask them all the really hard-hitting questions. So bring them out. They'll answer anything you want. So we do have a dev stream tomorrow, so make sure to tune in to that. And again, if you are just finding our game, if you haven't played yet and you just found the stream on Twitch, we are Voyagers of Nera, seafaring survival crafting game set in a magical ocean world where you surf, sail, swim, rescue magical spirits, and gain magical abilities. Explore a cool open world. So definitely check out our demo if you haven't. We would really love to hear your feedback. If you have played the demo actually already too, and you haven't filled out the survey, please fill out the feedback survey. It is linked in our game, both in the carousel at the home screen and in your settings menu and like the button that looks like a little form. We would really love to hear your feedback. We really want to know what we could improve before early access. So please, please, please fill that out. Check out our gameplay
trailer.
Just
how important that feedback is, actually. Like, the amount of times we're like, oh, but people in the survey have said X, Y, and Z has shaped a lot. It's really, really helpful.
Yes, it's so helpful, and it's like the best way. You know, we have a lot of feedback forums, and we try really hard to go through all of them as best as we can. But we're just humans. I'm just a baby, and I can only read so much of the feedback and gather it all at once. And so the survey is a really, really helpful way, where we ask a bunch of really targeted questions, and you can really help shape, you know, what we're exactly trying to like assess too. So please fill that out. It means so much.
And if you have a lot on your mind of like all the things that you hate or love about the game, that's the perfect place to put it. Go on your tirade, like let it loose.
Let it loose.
Let it loose.
Okay, I'm going to close the thingy and get the winners. Are we ready, chat? Hopefully no one else needs to enter the code. Any last entries? Do ! Happy NextFest. Okay, we're gonna do it. I hit the button. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Pony Flare! Oh, awesome! Pony Flare is the winner of our early access key. Pony Flare is actually also a really awesome community member who recently started our wiki, which is not something we had. So thanks, Pony Flare. I'm really glad you get this key. That's such a great, great timing. Thank you so much for everything you're contributing to our community. I hope you enjoy your key. Cheery is going to reach out to you to give you that. That's awesome! Woohoo!
No, congratulations.
And someone actually in the chat won, so that's good. At least we can believe that was not going to be a bug. Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody, for, again, tuning in, for playing our game, giving us feedback, coming to ask us questions. It really means a lot. I think, as a lot of you know, this is like our first game that we're working on as a studio, and we've been working so hard on it, and we've been through a lot as a little small studio, and I think I'm so proud of where we've come. I'm so proud of the game that we're making. I'm so happy that we have so many people who love the game so much, so it really means so much that you guys tune in, reshare our posts, play our game, give us feedback. We couldn't do it without you. I actually almost cried. That's so embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream before this gets too far. Thanks everybody so much.
Beth needs sushi. She needs wine. She needs to enjoy her night.
Yeah. Thanks everybody so much. Congrats again, Pony Flare, for winning the early access key. Tune in tomorrow for an AMA with Michael and Ryan, our co-founders.
Yeah.
And
it's been really great chatting with you all.
Yeah. AK, any last words? Oh, do we do our thumbnail pose?
Oh, should we do our thumbnail pose?
You ready, Cherry? Cool. Clipped it. Awesome.
I think the best part is that people actually talked and asked about dedicated servers, which I can answer. So that was not a plant, and we appreciate that.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.